Hello, everybody. It is my pleasure to take part in EnergyCareers 2021. And please let me thank the team at the Center for Energy Workforce Development for this invitation to come address you. For those of you here who are exploring professional possibilities in the energy sector, you could not be looking at a better moment, because right now we are on the cusp of a clean energy revolution. As you probably know, President Biden has set these really ambitious goals for the United States to cut emissions in half by 2030, to reach 100% clean electricity by 2035, and then to achieve a net zero economy by 2050. And this administration is throwing everything we can at reaching those goals because we know that the climate crisis demands success. But as President Biden likes to say, when we hear climate change, we should be thinking jobs, because the solution to climate change just so happens to be a super powerful engine for job creation. The entire world is moving to embrace this clean energy future. In fact, by the end of this decade, the global demand for clean energy and carbon reduction technologies and products is going to drive the market for these technologies up to $23 trillion at a minimum. You better believe all these other countries are gunning for that. We want America competing in that market. We want the world's clean energy future to be powered by American technologies and dreamed up by American innovators and sold by American businesses and built by American workers. And we want those workers to have a chance to join a union. And that's why President Biden signed on to an executive order in April that puts the federal government in labor's corner, helping workers to organize and to collectively bargain. And it's why his entire administration really is mobilizing to create high-road union careers that provide good benefits and strong protections and family-sustaining wages. And it's why in June, the Department of Energy announced a new policy that requires all innovations that are developed with taxpayer dollars through our Department of Energy programs, that they be substantially manufactured in the U.S., because American-funded research should result in American jobs. And it's why the Build Back Better agenda, both the bipartisan infrastructure deal and reconciliation, that they're all about putting Americans to work, bringing our clean energy future closer to today. So everything we're doing, we are doing to support the clean energy workers in this moment. We are trying to do everything this moment demands. Workers like Raquel Dexter, who I met on a trip to Nevada back in June. Raquel, she works at Townsite Solar, and she's a foreman, and she's a card-carrying IBEW member. She embodies the promise of our clean energy future. She's paid over $50 an hour overseeing Townsite Solar's operation as a foreman. That's actually what a journeyman earns at a Nevada solar site after a 5-year union-provided apprenticeship. Panel installers make $23.76 an hour to start, and then you add on top of that health care and a pension. We want these good-paying, union-friendly jobs in every pocket of the country. And as part of President Biden's Justice 40 initiative, we want to ensure that the clean energy economy is an equitable economy. We want the clean energy workforce to look like America, with jobs that are available to people of all backgrounds. And that is what it would look like to build back better. And here's the thing. The latest U.S. Energy and Employment Jobs Report tells us that right now, energy employers across the board are having trouble finding talent, which means that there's a ton of opportunity out there, and there's more on the way. So whether you want to work in solar or wind or hydropower or nuclear or geothermal or hydrogen or even carbon capture, whether you're interested in becoming a skilled tradesman or an engineer or a systems operator, or whether you see yourself in the field or in the business department, or even if you have an idea for your own company, this is your moment. Not just to find yourself a new job, but really to start building a high-road, good-paying, union-friendly career in clean energy. The clean energy market is a rocket ship. And at EnergyCareers 2021, you have a chance to punch your ticket and find your seat. So I hope to see you aboard.
Thank you so much, Secretary Granholm, for those energized remarks. On behalf of the more than 6 million men and women working in the energy industry and the Center for Energy Workforce Development, I would like to welcome everyone to EnergyCareers 2021. I am John Broshak. I'm a military veteran, and I currently serve as Vice President of Generation Operations for Consumers Energy, where I also serve as the executive sponsor of the Veterans Employee Resource Group. It is my privilege not just to welcome you to today's show, but also to kick off our keynote session that explores the question, why choose energy? Over the next several hours, I hope you will attend sessions, ask questions, visit energy company representatives in the exhibit hall to learn about internships and careers, and network with attendees who have found their professional passion in what they do. Throughout the day, you will hear from engineers, skilled trade professionals, those who support the business of energy, and so many others who want to share their excitement about the industry. To bring the program to life, I am joined with three of my colleagues. Shannon Pierce is the Vice President of Growth and Chief External Affairs Officer at South Star Energy Services. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you.
Henry Plange is Power Generation Technical Services Manager with Next Era Energy. Welcome, Henry.
Thank you, John.
And last, we have Tracy DeSanto, who is Senior Manager of Workforce Planning, Development, and Compliance with DTE Energy. She is also the co-chair at the Michigan Energy Workforce Development Consortium. As you just heard Secretary Granholm say, there is not a more exciting time to be in this industry in the several decades ahead. So with that, I'm going to ask a couple of rhetorical why choose energy questions, and then we'll see what our panelists have to offer. So why choose energy? Growth and innovation opportunities. Shannon, what do you think about that? What excites you about the industry?
So I joined this industry about 20 years ago, this past September, and I watched it grow and evolve over the years. And when I reflect over the last 20 years, what really excites me is what I've seen in the last 5 to 10 years, and that's our industry's increased focus around innovation and also attracting, retaining, and supporting a diverse and qualified workforce. When I first joined the industry, we would often talk about our efforts to be a good operator. And that's still absolutely what we need to be. We need to make sure that every day that we put safety first and make sure that we are delivering safe, clean, reliable, and affordable energy to our customers. But now what I'm also hearing is we're talking about how do we make sure that we're innovators and thinkers and creators. And that's what really excites me, because it really puts what we do every day in a different context that allows us to think bigger and really look at what it takes to build the future of energy for the benefits of our customers and society as a whole. So that's what really excites me, is just the focus on innovation, but also I believe the shift in thinking more about innovation and creation also allows us to attract a group of talent that we may have missed over the years, because now we're not just competing with other energy companies, we're competing with groups and all these other tremendous firms who are looking for talent just like we are. And now I believe that we're in a much better position to attract this talent and to be much more attractive to those who are looking for an innovative and creative space to be a part of global solutions around energy.
Well, Shannon, your energy and passion are contagious. I would love to get a chance to work with you more going forward. Tracy, and I know you're in the middle of all of this stuff. And so with everything that lies ahead with the industry, what kinds of jobs do you see that will be available? And maybe more specifically, what are the most important skill sets that people can bring to the table when pursuing a career in energy?
There's such an explosion in growth in the renewable space, and focusing on those entry-level positions such as the renewable solar, wind, and technician positions. There are customer service, entry-level maintenance bidder, apprentice, line worker, overhead, underground. There are all kinds of jobs from a professional perspective around engineering, IT, accounting, HR, jobs that you wouldn't necessarily think would be in the energy industry. And those skills, as Shannon mentioned earlier, having those essential skills of being able to communicate, but also really understanding, analytics. And for those that are, in school, the math and English, those are so critical to ensuring that you have a base foundation to get those really great jobs. So, if you're thinking about, the opportunity, absolutely focus on those types of skills and, hone in on them, because those are the essential things that you'll need to be successful.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you for that advice. Henry, what do you think about that?
So when most people hear about NextEra, they think of us due to our renewable credentials. And we're seeing a tremendous growth in the renewable industry, maybe customers that are on the retail, wholesale, or commercial side. With that growth gives an opportunity for careers. And with that growth, we're seeing a lot of companies invest billions of dollars in infrastructure every year. And we need people and to not only build these infrastructures, but also operate the assets as well. In addition to that, we're seeing a lot of changes in technology. And one of the biggest change in the renewable industry is in the direction of batteries. The energy storage industry has taken hold of the entire energy portfolio as a whole. And we're seeing the ability to be able to store excess solar or wind generation, thereby solidifying the goal of being able to sustain renewables to a 24-hour phase.
Henry, that sounds absolutely exciting and great time to be working on new stuff and new technology in our industry. I'm going to move on to round two. So our next why choose energy rhetorical question is opportunities for professional development. Now, Shannon, I've heard that you've held a large number of roles and been given tremendous professional development opportunity with your organization, and that's just so fantastic. How have you benefited from those opportunities throughout your career?
Well, I'll first start with just the enormous opportunity for educational development when you're on the job. That's the great thing about our industry. We provide extensive on-the-job training to our employees and make sure that they're not only certified to do the work, but also qualified. And that's sort of the technical pieces of our business. But then there's the leadership development that occurs. And there are a number of opportunities at many companies to do in-classroom training or computer-based training, or even go off campus and partner with other institutions to develop as leaders, because technical skills are certainly important. But again, as we look at being innovative and creators in this industry, we need leaders as well. And so we really look to develop the whole person from a leadership and technical perspective. Personally, I have benefited from the tremendous opportunity to learn from the great experience that's in this industry. Knowledge transfer to me is the gem of this industry. There are a number of folks in this industry that I have had the benefit of mentoring me and coaching me and helping me learn about this industry, from attending various conferences or doing ride-alongs with folks who work out in our field and service our customers on the front lines every day. They're just the people, to me, is where I have benefited from. Those people in this industry have been very open in embracing those of us who may not have sought out this industry, because I was one of those people who didn't really know about the opportunities in this industry, which is why I think today is such a great idea, so that others can learn about all the great opportunities that we have. And so because of how I came into the industry, it kind of found me, it was great to know that there were so many people who were willing to open their doors and for me to ask questions and to get the knowledge that they have obtained over the years. And again, to get out in the field with them and see what they do for our customers every day. And so we have on-the-job training for sure. We have computer-based training, classroom training. leadership development training, but the people in this industry is where I have truly found the most benefit in terms of my growth in learning and development.
And what a wonderful story. I'm so happy that you've had such a wonderful experience working in the energy industry. Now, Tracy, do you have some specific examples you could share with us of how the industry supports people throughout their career with growth and development opportunities?
Yeah, I'll start with my example. As I mentioned, I started out in the audit department and I'm now in HR. I moved around the company, and I think that's one thing that I just love about the energy industry is getting a well-rounded experience in multiple areas within the company to be able to develop. So again, I started in audit. I moved into an IT system implementation. I worked in the revenue and customer area, logistics and supply chain, and then moving into HR and working on the people aspect of the company. So that's a real great opportunity in the energy industry. And I also think that there's a big focus around the career development, as Shannon mentioned earlier, having educational reimbursement, formal and informal mentoring, the training aspect of, developing individuals and working through and getting sponsorship through different leaders to get you into different areas within the company. And then, of course, you'd mentioned earlier too, the diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think the training as it relates to that and having people open up their minds to understanding all aspects of diversity and really being open to, ideas and changing our mindsets. It's just so exciting to see and be a part of the energy industry right now and getting those opportunities.
That's so exciting, Tracy. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to move on to our round three. So why choose energy? Meaningful, essential, and environmentally critical employment. Now, Henry, so many people now want work with a purpose. They want to know that they're making a difference in society or helping to protect the planet or the environment. How do you think the energy industry fulfills those desires?
Electricity is one of those things that you don't think about. You just expect to be there every day. And I think the pandemic has reminded all of us to be grateful. Over the last 18 months, we've really got to appreciate the benefits of electricity, both at the hospital and at home. And pair that with the various technological advancements and the needs, we get to really appreciate electricity and know that it's critical for us to contribute to the industry as a whole.
Thank you, Henry. And Tracy, how would you respond to that same question?
The energy industry is evolving and growing, and I think there's such a strong focus on environmental social governance. I know that DTE is aspiring to be the best in the world and the best for the world. And so that includes providing support in our vulnerable communities. We're looking at programs and activities that strengthen those communities and attract businesses to those communities. And it's really exciting to talk about our partnerships with cities like the city of Detroit. And, we are working with them in partnership to plant 15,000 trees in the city. There's such a focus on it. It's so exciting place to be right now in the energy industry.
Thanks so much. And Shannon, I want to hear your thoughts as well.
Absolutely. John, you mentioned I've had many jobs in this industry and at my company in particular. And I started in the industry and at my company as a lawyer. And when I decided at a very young age I wanted to be a lawyer, I did think about what's going to be my purpose in the law. And the wonderful thing about the energy industry was it really gave me a way to live purposefully in many different aspects. So you talked about environmental stewardship and sustainability. Absolutely. With our continued focus on environmental stewardship and sustainability, I am so thrilled to be a part of the industry that is doing its part to make sure that we protect this wonderful planet that we get to call home. Then I think about diversity, equity, and inclusion and social justice and how our company has really been a leader in making sure that we're doing, again, our part to move the needle around social justice and diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I'll have to tell you that when I first started in this industry, I didn't think about our role as a company and as an industry in these broader societal issues. But I'm very thrilled that we stepped up to the plate to make sure that, again, that we're doing our part to contribute to the betterment of our society. And then I think about, what we do every day to make sure that we're enriching the lives of the customers that we have the privilege of serving every day, making sure that, they have power, that their meals are warm, their showers are hot. And I think about the fact that the work that I do every day helps people like my grandmother, who became a customer of ours after a conversation she and I had about how the existing heating source she had wasn't as efficient or affordable as I knew it could be. And I was able to connect her with a company that I work for to make sure that my grandmother was warm on those cold nights in Virginia that she would experience, that she could feel good about, that it was efficient, it was affordable for our family. And I was just proud to be a part of a company that I knew was going to work every day to take care of customers like my grandmother. And so that's where I find the purpose in the work that I have the pleasure of doing along with my colleagues at Southern Company every day.
Certainly gives you a reason to get up every day and want to put 100% into your work. I can tell you from the veteran perspective, it was an easy transition for me with that mission-focused orientation. We're providing a service, a mission-critical service to the communities that we have the fortune to operate in. And I'll tell you, that's so appealing to the veteran community. And one of my most rewarding collateral assignments has been working with all branches of the service in our employee resource group, because they just get it. They get it, and they just feel fulfilled with expanding on that network. Okay, so as we move into a wrap up for today, Henry, I want to ask, what words of advice would you give to someone who's seriously considering pursuing a career in the energy industry?
First and foremost, to reiterate what Shannon said, you have to have a purpose, right? And with a purpose comes direction. And in addition to that, you also need passion. Once you're able to combine those two things, you can pretty much achieve anything you want in the energy industry, which also aligns with loving what you do, right? As many of you heard on this video here, we've all gone through various roles, and being able to maneuver each role and do it passionately is what drives us in the energy industry. We always tell people that there's no better time, at least in the energy/renewable industry, than to make a difference than right now. You could be the guy flying a drone doing an assessment at one of our sites, or you could be an engineer at the facility diagnosing things, or you could be the one that's sitting in the office handling all the administrative stuff. But it gives you the ability to do what you love. And I would say, having those two key items, passion and purpose, are what you really need to be able to succeed in the energy industry.
Yeah, what a blessing to be able to say, I love my job and mean it. Shannon, what words of advice do you have?
A couple of things. One, I would say, do not underestimate the opportunities that this industry has for you, no matter what background you have. Again, I was an English major who went to law school, who had no idea of the opportunities that would come to me as a result of me joining this industry. And since then, I've had the opportunity to do jobs that were not necessarily a part of my core educational background, including in operations, which I thought only engineers could do. And it has just been a tremendous opportunity for me in my own growth and my learning. And the other piece of advice would be just continue to be curious. We need intellectual curiosity in this industry. We are ever evolving and ever working toward determining what the future of our industry looks like and how do we address the challenges up ahead. And then the last thing I would say is seek every opportunity to build relationships. in this industry, I have made many friends, people who I consider my family. And those relationships have really nurtured me and allowed me to grow in ways that I would have never imagined when I joined the industry 20 years ago. And so I just implore everyone that's interested in learning more about this industry, taking every opportunity to connect with those of us who are in the industry and learn from us. And in turn, we look forward to learning from you as well.
Awesome, Shannon. Thank you. And Tracy, why don't you close us out on this one?
Yeah, for sure. So I would just say take advantage of the events this week in your state and through the CEWD National Consortium. Put your energy into understanding those opportunities and reach out to those of us in this network. Such a great opportunity for you. And I would just say then you really need to just take that first step.
Thank you to our panelists for joining us for this session. And another thanks to Secretary Granholm for kicking things off for us today and her encouragement to jump aboard the energy rocket ship. There's a lot more in store for you throughout the day. We look forward to seeing you in the educational programs and in the exhibit hall. But most of all, we look forward to seeing you in the industry. Thank you.